This particular video is here to describe to you certain things about this channel and its videos that you should expect and stay tuned for in both the near and distant future. But first, the first following half of this video will include information about the videos themselves. The second half will include more personal information about me. But first, let's get to that first half. For starters, this is a science channel and specifically a biology one, and this means that I'll be talking about things that fall under the umbrella of the scientific study of living things, even if they involve other disciplines that aren't necessarily considered by some at least to be associated with the life sciences, like chemistry and geology, because they do have their place in biology. Even more humorous and lighthearted videos will at least have something to do with biology. If you find this video and you want to watch other ones in order to help you with a biology-related class, that's perfectly fine and you're welcome to do so. Just keep in mind something very important, and I emphasize this too. These videos are purely meant to be supplementary if a biology class is involved with your learning. Not only is your professor probably better at their job than I am, but I'm not going to be adhering to any specific curriculum with my video scheduling, which means that a video that you may want or need in the future may not ever come up. It may not be made when you want it to, and it may not be made ever. With that being said, I may end up making videos based off of suggestions in the comment section when my commenters actually exist. For now, I'll be basing my videos off of books and scientific papers. For your reference, ease of learning, and reading at your leisure, sources and side notes along with other supplementary information will be included in the description of almost every video, so please always check the description. Some video types will be longer and lecture-like, and I feel like, in my opinion at least, I have diligently and successfully attempted to make them not boring, but also interesting, informative, and even a little entertaining. Some of these videos will be about common ancestry or the history of life, or may act as a virtual atlas of an organism's anatomy or structure. Other videos will feature me in the field. Stay tuned for that, because I might be doing that literally. And what will essentially happen in those videos is that I will be talking about the biology of organisms as long as they're in the camera, in the flesh, in front of me. I might also make some more comedic biology-related videos too. These next points are a bit more personal and have to do with me and how I play a part in this channel as the narrator, or whatever you want to call me. And this point is going to be probably the most important one in the entire video, and I want to emphasize it and make it really clear. I am neither a qualified scientist nor a qualified teacher. I'm probably not even a qualified YouTuber, which makes me possibly something like an armchair scientist. That issue really just means that I'm going to end up making some mistakes about some of the biological concepts that I'll be talking about on this channel. And there also might be times where I'll go about teaching a subject in an awkward manner that doesn't make it very instructive. This isn't a high school book report. If I'm going to pursue this interest, then I want to be able to convey this information to others and actually have it make sense somewhere outside of my pinball machine brain. Because I will be making mistakes like that, things like constructive criticism, suggestions, questions, and civil discussions with commenters and I will always be welcomed in the comments section. My favorite biological subject is paleontology, which is the study of past life. It doesn't necessarily have to be extinct, it's just life that is uncovered and discovered by finding fossils in things like sedimentary rock. You may see a definitely unbiased trend towards videos more like that subject being made. Since I want to make paleontology my future career, and since it's an interest that I've been pursuing for a very long time, I might as well make videos about it now. I actually do have a sense of humor, which means that I'm going to be peppering jokes throughout some of my videos, especially the lecture-like videos. And keep in mind that these jokes are just to keep you engaged and have you laugh in case there's like a part where it may be a little boring, which it definitely won't be because biology is never boring. And you just have to keep in mind that when I do make these jokes, they're never going to be too out of place or go too off topic in regards to the subject that's being talked about. This certainly won't be the most serious biology channel in town. Honestly, I think the most serious parts of this channel will be most of the subjects themselves and my drive to teach the audience, which isn't here yet for some reason. And really, I feel like many mainstream biology channels seem to be a little too wrapped up in their extravagant production value, which, don't get me wrong, is invaluable to have when you teach an audience, especially if they're visual learners. But I feel like they're a little too wrapped up in that to get into some details that no one really seems to talk about despite the information being quite available. These details may not be talked about because people primarily looking to educate that may also be backed up by a more serious production value may end up simplifying information so much that connections in people's minds can't necessarily be made very easily, and they might even be misled. And I've actually noticed this issue quite prominently in mainstream news articles. I consider my up-and-coming videos unique compared to other biology channels because the biology is now coming with some dry humor, some field experience, some additional detail, and a bias towards paleontology. But don't you dare make fun of my low production value. Contrary to my channel's name, Big Money Biology is currently very small money, and I'd like to improve that and do something about it. No, this doesn't mean that I'd be opening up a Patreon and that you must pity pay me money. I would really just like to see where this goes and eventually up my production value and include some better microphones, editing software, camera equipment, and maybe even something like a green screen to have pictures that can be edited in later, and a whiteboard to write my ideas down and draw pictures, and maybe ways to construct models that will make it easier for visual learners to understand biological concepts. With things like my independent choice of subject matter in mind, I also want to be realistic about this channel during its vulnerable infancy. Just like what happened to life roughly 4 billion years ago, this channel has humbly arisen from gathered materials, like a camera, my knowledge, and I. Among other things too. And it will grow, develop, and change over time. It may even reproduce and make other side channels. It will respond to its stimulating environment, which will hopefully be full of commenters and interested watchers in the future. This also means that, just like me, this channel may unfortunately die someday, and possibly vanish into obscurity before YouTube watchers in the far much more distant future can discover a trace of it. Despite that, or possibly those concerning assertions, I'm really not too worried about this channel's fate, since I consider this to merely be a self-indulgent pursuit of my interest in biology because I'm too impatient to wait until I get a genuine career in the discipline. This is a new point in the lives of everyone willing to participate, including myself, where we've merely just found a new way to keep exploring what's around us. And it may be cheesy saying this on a biology channel of all places, but maybe that's the meaning of life.